Okay, Dr. Dominguez, tell us a little bit about why you're running for State Board of Education.
Well, I'm running for State Board of Education because I believe in education, and I have seen what is happening. So the reason I'm running is because I want to work towards changing that focus from testing to a balanced curriculum so that we are able to provide our students with personal as well as intellectual growth. We need to make sure that our text content is national in scope, but that it's also highlights or reflects all population subgroups. And lastly, the school board oversees the permanent school fund, so it is imperative that we make sure that the investments are done in all areas so that we can get the best return, so that we are able to fund education and make sure that there's an equal opportunity for all students. Right now there isn't.
You had mentioned investments, but the last session of the legislature, they weren't focused on investment. They were focused 100% on cuts. It appears that the GOP is still having that posture. So how can we talk about investments at this point?
There's the State Board of Education is divided into 3 subcommittees. One is responsible for instruction, one for school initiatives, and the other one for the permanent school fund. That subcommittee then presents to the committee. There is a company that is hired to do all of the investments, and they present to the board what is. Of course, it's discussed in small committee, and then it's presented to the larger
okay, so you're talking
board.
about expenditures within the existing budget.
Okay, within the permanent school funds, and you talked about legislature, which is very different.
Okay. You had mentioned balanced curriculum. Can you talk about what that means? What's balanced curriculum look like?
A balanced curriculum, from my experience having worked in education, I keep seeing, because of the focus on testing, that we're cutting back more and more on other courses, whether they be foreign languages, whether they be electives, so a well-balanced curriculum means that a student is developed in all areas. That's what I mean by it.
What makes you different from your opponents? What do you bring to the table that they don't?
Genuinely, I bring a passion. I take pride in having a reputation of a strong work ethic, honesty, and integrity, which was instilled in my upbringing. So, along with that, I bring the experience. I am a product of public education. I just believe in our kids. Our beliefs, our kids' capabilities are so huge that I see them that we're holding them back by what we have now.
There was some talk, and this is the first time I've actually really heard the idea thrown around that I can recall. Do you support the idea of moving school board elections to a regular election schedule?
They need to be moved when there's a better turnout, because if you look at the numbers, it is just so small. Yes, it would be great, but either not national election, but where there's right now. Yes, I support the idea that it needs to be moved along with other elections and not be held by themselves.
Pretty much all of you had made a comment during the debate to the effect that you all kind of went out of your way to say you aren't politicians. Yet you're all vying for a political position. So can you clarify that statement?
I know I'm an educator, and as an educator, I have not been a politician in the realm that we have seen that. And that's what I meant. I can't speak for the others. By running for this race, I am now also a politician along with being an educator. But I don't have the background that maybe other politicians have had. One of the candidates said, I'm running for this office this time and one time. I'm not going to make a career out of it. I think maybe that's where that comment comes from.
What's your biggest critique of the incumbent, Charlie Garza?
I don't know if you read the papers, but I know there was one incident. That's a tough question because I don't want to be negative yet. I do know that.
Right, but you're asking voters to make a choice between you and him.
Yes, he was absent for some of the votings, for the votings of a textbook. And I know he was very critical of the incumbent before for that same thing. And so some of what is coming out is part of it. The curriculum that I just mentioned that is being adopted in Texas, it is substandard to the others. Why are we allowing that? And I take that to heart because it's our kids.
Sure. Final question. If you had to talk to an undecided voter that might be watching this, what would you tell them?
I tell them, vote for me because I'm going to work the hardest. But most importantly, vote.
Thank you.
You're welcome.